we smartphone enthusiasts just love compact phones. You know, give us more power, bigger battery, sexy cameras,
Yeah,
but
boy.
just make it small. And compact phones just have one little problem: size. So when Vivo last year launched their compact phone, vivo X300 FE, it was good but not there. Had no thermal cooling. Because of that, they had to use last year's flagship processor. But still, in sale, when it came to 50,000 rupees, it was one of the favorite phones for the year. And then came X300. And if you have used that phone or even seen our recent compact phone video, you know that phone can do pretty much everything. Like a normal flagship, but just in smaller size. And today they are launching yet another compact phone, the vivo X300 FE. And this thing has a freaking 8 Gen 5, a ducking teleconverter lens, wireless charging. So the question that has to be asked is this the compact phone tech enthusiasts have been waiting for? What is the price? What are the compromises? You know, I just love small things. Shouldn't have said that. Pratik, TechWiser, let's effing go. Now there's a lot to unbox this time. The phone comes in a big rectangular box, and inside, of course, you get a phone with pre-applied screen protector, a soft color matching case, some paperwork, and woohoo! It's good to see a 90-watt flash charger inside the box, a Type A to Type C cable along with a SIM ejector tool. Now all of this is fine, but here's the surprise. The X300 FE now supports a 200mm telephoto extender, and this is what comes inside the box. Now, before we get to the cameras and this whole photography kit, here are 3 interesting things about the X300 FE. First up is the design, and it's actually quite different from the last time around. Usually Vivo phones have either a circular or, in case of the X200 FE, a vertical camera module. But this year, the X300 FE comes with a horizontal camera module, so the design looks unique. Also, what's unique this year is the urban olive color. Looks like a cute green flag, and in case you don't like this green flag, there are 2 other options as well. Like, they really missed the chance to call this matcha color, but they would not like the taste of it, I guess. Now, build-wise, it has a matte finish glass back, and the side frames here are made up of metal. Now, unlike last year, where the frame color and the glass back color was different, this year, frame and the glass back are both color matched. And on top, you still get an IR blaster. Now, since this is a compact phone, it feels quite light in the hand. It weighs around 192 grams. Also, you get IP68 plus IP69 dust and water resistance, so it can handle any water situation. Now, the next interesting thing is the display. It comes with a 6.31-inch 120Hz display, and this is an LTPO panel. So the refresh rate can switch between 1 Hz to 120 Hz, and this mostly helps to save battery. Now, while watching content, you will immediately notice the bezels. They're super thin and symmetric. Now, in our content watching experience, the display looks pretty good. The colors look punchy and vibrant. There's also support for HDR on both Netflix as well as YouTube. Now, you also get dual stereo speakers. In terms of brightness, the phone gets pretty bright indoors, which it should. It's a flagship. But even outdoors, while using maps, navigation, or booking cabs, the display is clearly visible under direct harsh sunlight. Also, you get an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, so unlocking the phone is quite fast. Now, the next interesting thing here is the performance. Interesting because Vivo this time has included a Snapdragon processor. Usually for the X series, they have been using a MediaTek processor. The X300 FE comes with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 paired with the fastest RAM and storage. Now, in benchmark, it performs pretty well. That was expected. And moreover, in my daily usage, I was on a video call with Sayan to recommend a place for good and affordable coffee. I had Dine Out and District open on split screen. Finding discounts, yes, karna padta hai bhai. Lawyer fees. Jokes aside, it handled these tasks smoothly. Even opening multiple apps side by side and switching between them quickly was not an issue. But you know, it's a flagship phone. It should handle all of that. So to stress it further, I did some heavy gaming. I played Wuthering Waves on the highest setting. Also, there's an option for Vulkan graphics as well, so we turned that on. Now, in a 30 minutes of gameplay, we got an average FPS of around 43. Now, since you guys asked to show the room temperature was around 24 degrees. And after the gameplay, the phone just went up to 36 degrees, which is like any other normal size phone. Now, this is possible because this year, the X300 FE has a vapor cooling chamber. For context, last year, the X200 FE didn't had one. Now, the next interesting thing here is the battery. It comes with a similar 6500 mAh battery like last year. Now, compact phones are not known for having a good battery backup, but the X300 FE won't disappoint you. In our usage of playing games, watching content, scrolling reels, and clicking pictures, it easily lasted me more than a day on a single charge. In fact, 1.5 days. And honestly, I had no battery anxiety with it. And not just it lasts long, it also charges pretty fast. The phone supports 90-watt fast charging. The battery gets to 100% in an hour. And whenever you are in a hurry, you can switch to the high-speed mode to charge even faster. Also, this time Vivo has added support for wireless charging. Oh, I missed this. The charging port here is USB 2.0. Also for connectivity, the X300 FE now supports eSIM as well. Next up, in terms of software, the X300 FE runs on latest Origin OS based on Android 16, and over time Vivo has actually improved the software quite a lot. Like earlier we complained about not having a rotate button, but now it's finally here. Even the animations feel smoother now, and overall the UI feels more fluid and more jiggly. Now Origin OS has added some new touches in the UI. For example, when I play the music, see in the Origin Island, it has a small visualizer going on in the middle, and the color actually matches the album art, like peak detailing. Another new feature here is shake to share. So if I have to share a file with 2 to 3 people at the same time, I can just shake the phone and share the file to all of them. This works with iPhone as well as other Android phone. It's just that you need to install the Easy Share app on iPhone as well as Android. Like there are a lot of good features in Origin OS, which if you want to know, we have covered already in this video. You can check that out after watching this one. Now in terms of update, the X300 FE will now get 5 years of Android update and 7 years of security update, which is pretty flagship level. Now the features, software update cycle, all of that is good, but I did notice a few things which could make the experience even better. When I was trying to connect my Aether scooter, it wasn't pairing at first with Bluetooth. Even after trying multiple settings, it didn't work. Then I had to turn off all the settings related to power saving, and after that I have to turn off battery optimization for the other app. If you see this on other Android skin, it's pretty much forward to do that. Here you need to go under a lot of settings and a lot of tabs. Now these are just small UX and user experience thing. It could be better. Hopefully Vivo refines this over time. Now coming to the juiciest highlight of any Vivo flagship, the cameras. So this comes with a triple camera setup with Zeiss collaboration. Now this is not first impressions. We literally went outside to multiple locations and clicked 500 plus photos, and here they are. In good daylight condition, the camera performs really well. Color looks vibrant but not oversaturated, like even the skin tone looks natural. And if you zoom in, you still get good details. We also tested it in challenging situation and it handled those pretty well. The output doesn't look washed out. Also one thing worth appreciating in Vivo phones is like there are too many modes. You just cannot remember them. So it actually recognizes the scene when you point the camera towards it and suggests you those modes, which is 99% of the time accurate and really helpful. Like when I was clicking a photo of this fountain, it instantly recognized the scene and suggested to use long exposure mode. And you can clearly see the difference between both the photos. And moving on to low light conditions, the output was fairly decent. Like if you see this image, the lighting was really low, but it gave a pretty good result. Or this image, where lighting is coming from everywhere, street lights, cars, buildings, and still controls the exposure nicely. Next, in portrait mode, it can shoot up to 100mm portraits and the results look really nice. The background blur looks natural and subject separation is also good. Now it also has this flash portrait option which adjusts the lighting based on the zoom level. So even night portraits, if you see, whether you take it from 1x, 2x or 3x, the night portraits are properly lit. Now sometimes while clicking portraits from the telephoto lens, the output doesn't look sharp compared to 1x because the aperture of the telephoto camera is slightly smaller as compared to the main camera. Now in zoom, the phone supports up to 100x digital zoom like every other smartphone. It uses AI processing at higher zoom levels. Now the results are good. Like we took this image at 100x and the text is fairly readable. And finally, it's extended time. The X300 FE this year comes with a 200mm telephoto extender, and you see the photos from the extender, they are very sharp with plenty of detail. In fact, it's really hard to believe that this image is not portrait mode. This is all natural blur because of the telephoto extender. Also, I've noticed that if you take a lot of photos with the lens, sometimes the photos look a bit processed, like the AI smooths out the skin tone a little bit. Also, I noticed that it has this UHD mode, and after processing, you can clearly see the difference side by side between both the images. Now, coming to the ultra wide angle camera, it captures pretty wide shots. There is a slight color shift between the main and the ultra wide angle lens, but overall the output is what you would get with an 8MP ultra wide angle camera. And for selfies, you have a 50MP autofocus front camera. It takes sharp selfies with good colors. In terms of videos, the phone can record in 8K 30fps and it's good for future proofing, but I don't know when that future will come when we'll watch 8K content. So it's 2026 and we mostly record in 4K. Now in 4K 30fps, this is the video quality. Now for shooting portrait videos, while the quality looks good here, it just does portrait video up to 1080p. So overall, compared to last year, the camera set remains the same, but the processing has been improved due to moving to Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, and also that teleconverter kit is a icing on the cake. So that was all about the vivo X300 FE. Now this year it is priced around 79,999. Now you can see the specs and upgrades of X300 FE side by side with the X200 FE. The X300 FE goes on sale on 14th May on both Flipkart and Amazon. There are some launch offers as well. I'll just put it on the screen. Now coming back to the question, has Vivo finally nailed the science and art of a compact flagship? Honestly, the experience that you get with the X300 Pro, they have tried to bring most of it here on the X300 FE. There's wireless charging, teleconverter lens, it has solid performance, great battery life. There's still a few small things in software and they are fixable, but nothing here that actually breaks the experience. So you can definitely check that out. We have also a video on compact phones. You can check that out over here. On that note, this is signing off. See you in the next video. Pew pew pew.